Hey everybody, welcome back. Wayne here. This week we're going to talk about trust. And why is trusting so hard? But let me say right up front that trust is a really complex issue that is based on many factors from childhood development. The wounds, the attachment patterns, and how trust was modeled for us in the homes that we grew up in. But have you ever wondered why it's so hard to reestablish trust after some kind of rupture or infraction or an infidelity? Most of us have really asked that question a time or two in our lives. But at least once a week, someone comes into my office, or a couple comes into my office, my virtual office these days, and they're struggling with this reality. And recently, I was working with a couple, and the wayward spouse feels like she is doing amazing work and doing amazing progress with her attentiveness in the marriage, with her follow through in recovery. But her husband, on the other hand, still sees her as self-centered. He's felt that she has made little or no improvement. And that's all too common of a predicament that I see in my office, whether it was a man that was unfaithful or a woman that was unfaithful. You can see that they just have radically different viewpoints. Long ago, I learned that couples fight because they both think they're right. I mean, just think about it. It would be really foolish or really cruel to argue a topic where you know you're wrong. We fight when we really believe that we're right and the other person is wrong, and they can't see the deeper issue or issues that we're talking about. And the problem stems from the fact that we're really not on the same topic. Typically, one person is speaking from the perspective of how they've been hurt, while the other party speaks from the perspective of what their intentions are or were. And it's impossible to agree if you're not even on the same topic or the same subject. Typically, the unfaithful spouse evaluates their performance by their intention. Past behaviors to the unfaithful spouse are just that very thing. They are past behaviors. They're in the past. So their mind, they have this clean slate since the infidelity came to light, and they're working towards recovery. And by those standards, they often feel they deserve to be awarded the most trustworthy citizen of the year. But remember, the betrayed spouse is evaluating trust by their spouse's actions or their behavior, while the unfaithful spouse is evaluating trust based on their intentions, their recovery. So you can see how the fight for trust can feel like a losing battle at times. And here's the problem. If you're an unfaithful spouse, please hear me. Intentions carry almost no weight in the betrayed's mind, and current behaviors are viewed through the lens of past behaviors. The betrayed spouse wants action. Even more, they want right motive with those actions. And it's one of the very few measures that they really actually have. It may feel as if the actions done with the wrong motives don't even count. So the discrepancies in the scores awarded by both sides create a great deal of anxiety and struggle. The unfaithful spouse may feel misunderstood and like nothing they do really even matters. And the betrayed spouse lives in fear that things will never change and their spouse will never get it and they'll go do it all again. And so you see that cycle over and over and over again. Whether unfaithful or betrayed, I'd recommend that you both take a hard look at your behaviors, not your intentions. We've got to take responsibility for our failures. Every one of us does. And even when it's not intentional, and this is a huge piece of the puzzle of reestablishing safety and then trust. Trust will then begin to resurface. And at the same time, we have to be willing to let each other make amends. It's good to note that your progress in recovery, but remember the weight of your actions. Let's say you acted out for years, and it's been 5 months since the infidelity came to light, and you've had good behavior and you've worked your program. Do you think it's enough good time to shift your spouse's perspective of you? You know your heart and your intentions, but how can your spouse believe you when you've spent years deceiving him or her? You're going to have to be consistent in your word and in your action over 90% of the time if you want them to consider you safe and trustworthy again. On the other hand, having good intentions over 90% of the time will do nothing. You've got to be patient. If you stay the course and become the person that you can respect, then odds are that your spouse will eventually join you. This is not just about you saving the marriage, but getting your life back. It's about getting healthy for yourself first and then for your spouse and your family. If you don't respect or love yourself, how can you expect your spouse, or anyone else for that matter, to do the same? And for the betrayed spouses, I'd encourage you not to discount the positive. Given the betrayal, it's natural to only see the negatives and to mistrust your partner's actions. No one wants to be played the fool again. But however, if your heart is soft and open and they are doing the work and they are taking responsibility, try to see their heart. Changing lifetime behavior and patterns takes time. And if you see heartfelt action towards change, please don't consider it meaningless. Remember that the goal is progress, not perfection. It'll certainly take time before you can trust their heart again, but try to be objective as you walk through this road of recovery together. My good friend and colleague, Leslie Hardy, the co-author of Harboring Hope, says, don't use the pain of the past to amplify your fear of the future. I'm going to say that again because I think it's important. Don't use the pain of the past to amplify the fear of your future. If you're exploring the possibilities of reconciliation, be cautious, but try to live in the present moment. Anything else robs you of this one precious life that we've been given. If you'd like help learning about how to trust again, I'd invite you, if you're a betrayed spouse, to consider joining Harboring Hope. That course is just amazing. John and Leslie co-wrote that, and there's lots of good information and even some testimonials on the Affair Recovery website underneath the Programs tab. So I'd invite you to go look at that, and please consider it. It's so helpful. The couples that I work with where the betrayed spouse has gone through that course, they tend to do a little bit better, a little bit quicker. So I think it's a good investment for you. So thanks so much for joining me again this week. Always good to be with you, and I'll be back again next week. So until then, take care of yourself and stay healthy. Know that we love and care for all of you guys. Thanks so much.